Salut à toutes et à tous et bienvenue dans StorySéries saison 3, épisode 17. Cette semaine, on renonce au sommeil et on se laisse terroriser par The Outsider, adaptation aussi sombre que fascinante du roi Stephen King.
So the corners of the tissue tears on the upper torso, there's teeth impressions around the edges.
Animal?
No.
Stephen King a beau être l'un des écrivains les plus adaptés sur petit et grand écran, les échecs ont malheureusement été bien plus nombreux que les réussites. De la nullissime Castle Rock à la très dispensable The Mist, nous avions fini par croire que personne n'arriverait à faire un sans faute, jusqu'à aujourd'hui. Superbement mise en scène, poignante, choquante, intrigante et portée par un casting parfait, The Outsider pourrait bien avoir brisé la malédiction des adaptations ratées.
Good writing, good acting. I don't know how.
Dans ce polar ténébreux tirant vers le surnaturel, un flic dépressif et une enquêtrice mystique enquêtent sur la mort violente d'un enfant dans une petite ville américaine, comme King sait si bien les écrire.
When the facts are filled with coincidences, don't dismiss those coincidences.
I have no tolerance for the unexplainable.
Well then, sir, you'll have no tolerance for me.
Nous avons rencontré l'équipe de la série en exclusivité à Los Angeles, l'actrice de Masters of Sex Julianne Nicholson, le scénariste Richard Price, auteur sur The Wire et The Night Of, le réalisateur chevronné Andrew Bernstein et l'acteur Paddy Considine vu dans Peaky Blinders.
All she's asking is that we keep an open mind.
You keep your mind open. I'm just gonna look for facts, evidence, dumb cop shit like that.
I think you should drop the investigation. If you don't, I feel like something very bad is gonna happen.
Something bad's already happened.
What's wrong with people? Why do they want to submerge themselves into all this darkness? I don't know. I mean, clearly there's something there, right? Is it, I don't know, is it because people can't live these things out in their real life? These things are too horrific that maybe it's nice to sort of watch it happen to somebody else? I don't know, but it's, you know, there's definitely, I mean, Stephen King has a history of knowing what people want to see, so hopefully this is in that same vein.
Why, if you're that terrified, why do you keep going back? My first introduction was Salem's Lot, the scene in the prison cell, and I'd snuck down when my parents were watching it and sat by my mum's feet. And when Mr. Barlow appeared, flicks the lock, and I leapt off the floor into, and I was absolutely like distraught, terrified.
He just has a little bit of magic in that pen because he cannot write a book that millions of people don't want to read. I think his books are each so different, one from the next, that, but within them, there's definitely that Stephen King touch.
Stephen King n'est pas l'homme d'un seul genre. Celui qu'on surnomme généralement le maître de l'horreur a plus d'un tour dans sa plume et fait passer The Outsider du pur polar ultra réaliste à une fable surnaturelle hallucinante où l'on peut croire à tout. Le scénariste Richard Price, largement reconnu pour son travail d'orfèvre sur des séries policières comme The Wire et The Night Of, nous explique comment il a remodelé l'histoire de King pour la télévision.
You take the book, you strip away all the stuff that works in a book but is useless on a screen because it's all in the interior of the characters or the narrator's exposition. You just have to strip that all away, see what you're left with, and then you have to figure out a way to get from event 1 to event 2 in a visual way, and you have to translate all the internal lives into visual and physical.
Hey there. How you doing?
Holding my own, some of theirs.
Oh, that's good to hear. Did you happen to be working on Tuesday? That was the day of the teachers' conference.
I'm here every day. It's my shop.
Could I ask you to look at these photos? Please tell me if you've seen this man.
They're kind of grainy.
The book was my guide. I mean, as evolved from procedural into supernatural. I had no problem with that. I needed to enhance the struggle of a detective who's only believes in what he can see and what he can present to court to get him to let go, to revert from the age of reason to the age of faith. you know, go backwards in his brain in terms of civilization in order to be effective, because he can't, he's dead weight.
Is there a mystery here? Yes. Will there always be unanswered questions? Most likely. Sometimes that happens. And when it does, you just need to learn how to live with it and move on.
One of the great things about this show, which also, you know, is we have Richard Price writing it, who's not a supernatural writer for the most part, and sort of gravitates towards the more procedural elements. And Jason and I both come from that place as well. You know, we haven't done a lot of the supernatural stuff. So to sort of come into that supernatural element from a different perspective, from people who sort of aren't used to doing that, to me sort of just gave it a different feel. You know, and it was sort of and sort of making sure we honored the Stephen King of it all and the supernatural of it all, but mostly keeping it grounded in the sort of, how would people respond to this? I mean, we asked that a lot of times on set, like how would a normal person respond to this?
Les personnages, c'est le cœur de l'œuvre de Stephen King et la grande passion de Richard Price. Brisés, enragés, rincés, les hommes et les femmes qu'ils racontent ne cachent jamais leur vulnérabilité, insufflant ainsi une grande humanité au récit.
I think the rule number one in all storytelling is good character. I mean, I don't think, if you say it's in vogue, okay, fine, it's in vogue, but it should have been in vogue since the Bible. Somebody once said to me, why are these characters in trouble so much? I said, because you can't have drama without trouble. You know, and there was a dead silence, and they said, why is there so much of it? So what can I tell you? I mean, people don't have problems, you don't have a story.
I think Jason Bateman and I were both really interested in, we're mostly interested in character studies and sort of how people find their places in the world, and I think that's a big part of what this show is. So it's sort of the humanity sort of just comes out off the page if we're sort of doing our job right. And I think these were actors who were sort of gravitated towards that. I mean, I think they were sort of trying to find, you know, how they related to the material, and I think it just sort of popped off the screen.
Lauren.
No.
No, I get it. I need to talk to you. Please talk to me.
No.
I should never have arrested Terry.
Get your foot off my door. I'm gonna get you arrested. Get your fucking foot off my door, or I'm gonna get you arrested.
Hey, you need to hear me out.
I need to what? Back the fuck up.
What if he didn't do it?
He didn't do it. He didn't do it. He told you he didn't do it. The last words my husband spoke were to you and not to me. They were to you. And he told you he didn't do it. So what else do you need? A note from God?
If he didn't do it, someone else did. What if it happens again?
Are you asking me for my help?
Yeah.
You have much more to play when someone's thinking about the character and not just the story or the crime. And it feels exciting to be able to dig deep into someone that feels real. Stephen's writing is so good, and then translated, you know, through Richard, and then just this actual experience. I'm a wife, I'm a mother of 2 kids, so imagination goes into play, and the details of the story are so horrific that you just have to let yourself go into that for a little bit, and then, you know, I've been doing it long enough where hopefully, you know, at the end of the day, I can leave that there.
Si The Outsider est aussi réussi, ce n'est pas uniquement grâce à ses personnages. On y retrouve tout ce qui fait la grandeur des séries HBO, qui a eu l'intelligence de traiter ce roman avec la même élégance et la même exigence que toutes ses autres séries. Pas étonnant donc d'y retrouver l'ambiance ambiguë de True Detective ou la mise en scène léchée de The Night Of.
I loved The Night Of. I thought it was an amazing show. So it was a thrill to meet and get to work with Bill Camp, also from The Night Of. And he's just the greatest guy and such a wonderful actor and such a grounding presence and funny.
Howard, it's Glory.
They just arrested Terry. They said he killed Frankie Peterson.
Hang on. They what? Where did they take him?
Can you help him?
Of course I can. Just tell me where you are.
Well, he wasn't even in town that day.
Trust me, they screwed up big time.
And Ralph Anderson said that the police are at our house right now.
Well, they probably have a search warrant. Where are the girls?
They're with me.
Laurie, you need to calm down. Deep breath.
No, I don't, Howard.
Okay. Now, first off, the girls do not need to see any more cops today, so drop them off at a friend's house. You know anybody who would take them in?
Spencer's.
Okay, beautiful. After that, I want you to go straight home, see what they want to take. Do not let them take anything but what's listed on that warrant.
Okay.
Now, they might try to get you talking about Terry, so repeat after me. On the advice of my lawyer, I refuse to answer any of your questions.
On the advice of my lawyer, I refuse to answer any of your questions.
Perfect.
So I thought Jason was really smart with how he selected the cast for this show. Interesting people. People you may not know their names, but you've seen their faces, and just quality.
I grew up, you know, I hate to use the word now, okay, boomer, but I was born in '49, so I grew up on television as much as I did. I was a voracious reader, but I learned storytelling from watching television, the first generation. So yeah, of course, it's always, you know, I always see, you know, and it's not like I have a TV tube in my head, but I always see what I write as if, you know, it was on a screen. That doesn't mean that there's no room for depth. There's no room for interior monologue and retrospect and narrative style, but I've been weaned on the television, you know.
Baby, I've been a lawman for over 20 years, and it just kills me. It just kills me.
Put aside all the contradictory evidence on both sides, all of it. Answer me this. From your gut, do you think Terry Maitland killed that boy?
I can't tell. I don't know. I really don't know.
Not good.
Safe on the ground. Let's all take a second here. They'll figure this out.
Who's the engineer here?
Who's the genius? Who's the captain?
Who fucked up?
StorySéries, c'est terminé. La semaine prochaine, nous irons à Londres à la rencontre de l'hilarant showrunner Armando Iannucci et du cultissime Hugh Laurie pour la comédie spatiale Avenue 5.
Getting into some escape pod, are you?
Ma'am, if I had an escape pod, I would put you in it. Set the fucking thing on fire.
Allez, à la semaine prochaine.